of other examples of similar type of discussions. On the committees, if you take a look at the committees, or committee minutes, oftentimes what you find in the minutes are decisions were taken, but you don't find why they were taken or why certain members took the position that they took on a particular issue. So in the Planning Advisory Committee, members frequently will vote one way or another, but don't explain why they did. These are things that should change.
Okay, Woodside, everybody.
John, transparency is something that is being talked about right now, and quite frankly is a red herring. It's a myth. We have right now 2 people from the Gleaner. Heather's been reporting on City Hall for 15 years. The government's legislating the Privacy Act. It's coming up in June. It should have been here before. The City of Fredericton has been doing that for 2 years. We have a council system, we have a council and committee system, and when it gets to council and people say, wow, there really didn't seem to be a whole lot happening, it's because we have kicked this thing around, and every decision that we make is done in public. All of those committee meetings that you're talking about, the reporters are there. Maybe the public's not there, but the reporters are there to report it. If the public's interested, they could be there. It's always, you know, people are always saying things like, you're doing all this stuff behind closed doors. That's not a fact. The biggest problem that we have and the biggest perception that we have to deal with is we run things and they go very smoothly. There's not a lot of controversy. There's not a lot of nitpicking. There's not a lot of that going on like there are in other communities, and people think for that reason, well, they must be doing it someplace else. Not the case.
Time's up. But we do have 2 minutes to continue the debate. It's a good one.
Yeah, I think that you know, the main issue here is about process, and the process that we're currently have doesn't engage enough people. There aren't enough advisory committees, for instance. There's supposed to be an arts advisory committee. It's only met once. There should be an advisory committee for local food. There's a huge knowledge base in the community that should be tapped, and tapped by the committee system. So, you know, part of it is, it's not necessarily that people are doing, you know, are deliberately trying to hide decisions. I don't think that's the case. I think people are trying to do the best that they can, but it's not an accessible process for people, and it's not an inviting or an engaging process. And I think that there are a number of ways in which we can bring more people into City Hall. And the first way we can do that is by voting for a new generation.
Okay, when you talk about engaging the public and bringing them in, I think you were at the last council meeting, when the public was there, they were engaged.
Yeah, you've actually in the last couple of weeks, you've been more transparent and engaged than I've ever seen you in the last
3 years. That's not true, that's not correct. I mean, you're getting engaged because you jumped into an election campaign, but you have to go back, I'm talking the last 8 years. When the public has been there and they have a problem, this council has responded. We've responded just the way we did at the last meeting. And you know what? The process...
You've had to back up with a whole bunch of things.
Go ahead. Okay, the process says, here's what we go through. They were there for first and second reading, hearing of objections or support. They had objections. That's what the process is. They went to PAC before that. This is the first time that council had it. We get our files the same time as the public.
Why is it that council continues to make decisions that upsets the public and then has to backtrack on them after the public? I'll give you a couple of examples.
All right.
The staff report that looked at selling parks in the city, for instance. The strawberry U-pick. This development on Spring Hill out in Silverwood last week. You know, these are a series of things.
That's it, gentlemen. Good debate. We have time for one more question.